Right, Pat, the demonstrations have led to clashes between protesters and security forces. So far, at least 20 people have been killed in the protest. And as Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, both President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are encouraging the protesters.
In a rare show of defiance, some demonstrators shouted, "Death to Khamenei, Iran's supreme ruler." What began as economic protests have escalated into calls for Iran's religious leaders to step down. Many of the protesters are frustrated. Youth unemployment is at nearly 30%, and Iran is spending billions of dollars in foreign interventions in Iraq and Syria. But Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says anarchy won't be tolerated.
The government will definitely not tolerate those groups who are after the destruction of public properties or disrupting the public order or sparking riots in the society.
But President Trump tweeted encouragement to the Iranian people. He said Iran is failing at every level despite the terrible deal made with them by the Obama administration. The great Iranian people have been repressed for many years. They are hungry for food and for freedom. Along with human rights, the wealth of Iran is being looted. Time for change. Trump's support of the demonstrators and condemnation of Iran's leaders contrasts sharply to President Obama's reaction in 2009. He remained silent when millions of Iranians took to the streets to protest a presidential election that many Iranians believe was rigged by the regime. Iran's President Rouhani claimed that Israel is behind the protest. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called that claim laughable and explained why he believes Iranians are pouring into the streets.
They seek the basic liberties that have been denied to them for decades. Iran's cruel regime wastes tens of billions of dollars spreading hate. This money could have built schools and hospitals. No wonder mothers and fathers are marching in the streets. The regime is terrified of them, of their own people.
He also blamed Europe for its silence.
Sadly, many European governments watch in silence as heroic young Iranians are beaten in the streets. That's just not right. And I, for one, will not stay silent. This regime tries desperately to sow hate between us, but they won't succeed. And when this regime finally falls, and one day it will, Iranians and Israelis will be great friends once again.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.